Wow. It's not what it says, not what I wrote, but wow. There you go. Thank you, Angie. First and foremost, a huge thanks to all of you. As you can imagine, I'm probably going to need somebody to pinch me at some point to make sure this is actually really happening and not a dream. You have no idea how humbled I am to stand here before all of my fellow imaging leaders as the president of the AHRA. To be in the same company as past presidents such as Robbie Edge, Luann Culbreth, Ernie Saldina, Big Dave, my personal favorite rock star, Ed Yoder, God bless you, buddy, Jason Newmark, my roommate of almost 10 years, a lot of stories, and Angie Bush, who has been a great mentor and friend. Please help me give Angie another round of applause for being a great president this year. So how did this happen? I know, I asked myself too. So I have to tell you a story so you know that my path to this spot has been filled with moments in my life touched by the AHRA in more ways than I could have ever imagined. I attended my first AHRA event in 1999 in Orlando, right in this town. Immediately, I felt so welcomed and even met other leaders from my home state of Indiana, most of which I didn't know. As most of you may remember, in the early 2000s, we were a little tight on travel and education funding. So it wasn't until the next meeting I attended in San Antonio in 2005, I was hooked. There, annual meeting veterans took me under their wings and showed me the way. As most of you know, that way can lead to a lot of different places. And one night it led us to Dirty Nelly's, an Irish pub in the bottom of the Hilton. We'll talk about that later, not right now. After that meeting, I worked really hard to try to figure out how to get more involved. I made every effort to attend every annual meeting thereafter. In 2008, when I was selected to be an on-site annual meeting design team member with Ernie Stewart, our hospital flooded. It was devastating. We were closed for 5 months. Experts told us it'd be 12 to 18 months. They obviously had no idea who they were talking to. But unfortunately, this resulted in me being able to attend the meeting that year. But as many of you would expect, the design team rallied around me and my team with cards, letters of encouragement, and even money for lunches. It was far more than I could have ever expected. Then, in 2011, something even more special happened. We'll go with special. I was the annual meeting design team chair in Dallas, Texas, at the Gaylord, similar to the one we've been in. On Tuesday, I was sitting in a session next to my friend Lori Burns. I told her I wasn't feeling really well and I needed to step out for a minute. I didn't come back. For the first time in my life, I had a kidney stone. And many of you know this story. I am pretty sure there was a gigantic boulder lodged in my ureter, only to ruin my event for the entire time. But I ended up in the hospital that night, but was released just in time to make it back with my team on Wednesday to attend the final event party. I was able to dance. I wore a crazy 10-gallon foam hat, and I had a great time. Looking back at those pictures, medication is a magical thing. Helped me a lot. Then I had to fly home. That's a whole different story. But I want to thank my friends from Indiana who took care of me on the ride home. It was great. I was nominated for the board 3 times before I made the ballot. I eventually won a seat at the big table. And I will never forget Ed Yoder calling me. Ed could hardly talk. He told me, "You won. You finally made it to the board." See, when he asked me to run for a nomination, I've been asked before, 3 times. Didn't even make the ballot. And I said, you know what? I'm not really all that big of a fan of rejection, so no thank you, sir. But then think about what happened last May. Last May, one of my best friends called me and said, "Bill, you want the good news or do you want the bad news?" I'm like, oh man. I said, dude, come on. You got to just say it. So Jason Newmark said to me, screaming in the phone, "You won! You are going to be the next president." I want to be honest with you. I screamed back and cried like a baby. What an honor. I am so honored to stand before all of you today. You have no idea what this means to me. So now something a little personal, something you may not know about me, but I think a lot of you already do. I have a little thing for music. Maybe a little. I have attended nearly 300 concerts. I have a huge music collection. My den is dedicated to my favorite band, Kiss. And I do a weekly rock podcast with two of my buddies called Ages of Rock Podcast. Shameless plug. So yeah, this is the guy you guys have chosen to lead the AHRA for the next year. It's a little crazy, right? But I can't wait. So if you're still awake, and it sounds like you probably are, I want to share some info with you about the upcoming year for me. I want to talk about change, collaboration, family, and superheroes. We'll just continue that theme. So let's talk about change. I wrote an article earlier this year that was in radiology management about the changes I've experienced in my organization in the last year or so. Well, the AHRA workplace has been no stranger to change. Past President Jay Mazurowski joined us as a Deputy Executive Director and has done a phenomenal job. As you know, Ed Cronin is retiring at the end of 2018. Let's give Ed a round of applause. I want to thank Ed for his incredible leadership for the past 13 years. He's been instrumental in guiding us through growing our AHRA membership, expanding our professional development programs, and Education Foundation capital campaigns, and as Angie alluded to earlier, reached over $3.6 million for the Defining Our Future campaign. That does not come easy. Those are going to be some huge shoes to fill, for sure. But in the midst of a CEO search, we have engaged a search firm to help us scour the country for Ed's successor. But how many times are we in control of change in our everyday work? I'm going to say not very often. But in this instance, I think we are. I would like to say this is a controlled change, and I want to thank Ed for that. By the end of 2018, there will be a new CEO at the helm, and I look forward to working closely with him or her to continue the great work that's been done in the past and look forward to new goals for the future. So get ready. Change is coming. Collaboration. I recently learned that after college, associations are the place that most people get their continuing education. I feel that we must continue to grow to find new methods to grow our membership and increase our relevance in healthcare leadership. We are the Association for Medical Imaging Management. But to increase our network and help expand our legacy, I challenge that we collaborate with the associations in cardiology, vascular access, and nursing, as well as many others, and as we continue this work. More and more associations are noticing what we do so well, and they want to learn from us. So we must find ways to continue to work together. They are facing many similar challenges, and I feel it is our responsibility to help lead and develop others outside our walls of imaging. I'm amazed how many times I sit with my peers in my organization and we are looking for ideas. They are shocked when I hop on the AHRA forum, post a question, and start seeing results right in that meeting. Have any of you guys ever done that? Yep. All right. That changes the meeting. Nobody else has that. So let's help those other associations get there. When someone hosts a local area meeting, grab your fellow leaders from the lab, cardiology, nursing, wherever, and bring them with you. Show them the great value you receive from being an AHRA member. Family. We talk a lot about family in the AHRA. Family has a lot of different meanings. There's your family at home, right? Some you like, some you don't. My family's right over here. We have our family at work. Some you like, some you don't. And we have our AHRA family, right? All of which we love, right? How many of you are attending this event for the very first time? Awesome, great. Thank you very much. I want to welcome you to the family. So how was the family reunion this year? Awesome. I love coming to this meeting to reconnect with my friends. and sitting next to someone I don't know and I connect with on a different level. It's so awesome to be in an association that we all work to get here every year to share and learn from each other and to build lifelong friendships and relationships. All of you are very familiar with we're all in this together, right? So look around. Those in front of you, behind you, and beside you are going through the same challenges you are. As a collective family, we can work together to find solutions and improve the healthcare environment. I can almost guarantee you that at least one of these people you have met this week will be a friend for life. And that doesn't happen by accident. But our family continues to grow. We have over 5,700 members. But we need this to continue, and we need your help. You are going to help build the future of the AHRA. Our larger membership strengthens our AHRA voice when advocating for issues of importance. It enhances our services for other members, and it provides more networking connections. If each person in this room could get one member to join, we would leap over 6,000 members. Can we do it? Oh, come on. Come on. It says, dang right we can, right there. There you go. Superheroes. In just a short time, we'll be making our transitions to our superhero costumes for the party that Mark and his team has readied for us. Some of them, I hopefully, are not as form-fitting as the one I looked at, because we did not go down that road. It was bad. But think about that for a minute. We don't wear costumes to work, but how many of us are superheroes at our workplaces? On Monday, Kevin Brown told us about 3 key characteristics to being a hero. Heroes are those who choose not to be ordinary, see life through a lens of optimism, and when others look in the mirror, they see your face. Just think about that for 1 second. That is a very profound thought. When did you thank a team member for just doing something that someone might think is ordinary, but it's that one thing that turns their day upside down and just sets them on a path of doing the right thing every time and just being super? We're typically very humble leaders, but it's time for us to be super and lead our teams with purpose. That's my challenge to all of you. Be super. I've been very blessed to have worked with a mentor for 30 years in Kent Johnson, a former AHRA Award of Excellence winner, and my Vice President of Operations, Chris Roth, who supports my work at the AHRA. I can't leave here today until I thank some superheroes in my life. I'm very blessed to have a great family that has been able to join me this day and this week. They're sitting over here. I'm not looking over there. Because they know I love them and I can't look over there. So that's my wife, Lisa, my sons, Alex and Noah, my mama, my dad, and my sister. My daughter Madison wasn't able to make it because of work, but she's here in spirit, and I know she's cheering me on, and I appreciate that. I am one lucky guy. I'm telling you. I want to thank all of you for your support. I want to thank all of you for being here, and let's have a great year.